Hey, Britton from Percy here. I want to talk to you about importing your catalog into Percy. That's this big button over here that you'll see when you log into Percy. Um, Percy, if you're using Percy, you're probably doing one of two things. You're probably either creating a bunch of new listings from scratch, so listings that don't exist on Amazon yet and you need to create new ones, or you're optimizing a catalog of listings that are already there. If you're making new listings, then you don't need to import your catalog because there is no catalog yet. So in that case, you would go directly to the bulk listings tools. But if you're optimizing listings that are already on Amazon, there's already some titles, there's ASINs and all that, then the first step that we need to do is import that catalog into Percy so we can start the process of finding new keywords and then deciding whether to rewrite or to just optimize those keywords. So I'm going to show you a few different ways you can do that in Percy to get this started. And before we even go into the keyword research stuff, there's already some cool things that you'll see about your catalog when you get it imported in. So the first thing that we'll do is just click this import catalog button here, and it's going to open up this little window. We have two options for importing your listings into Percy. One is importing with ASINs, so where you just give us a list of ASINs and we'll go scrape those ASIN product pages and pull the text directly from Amazon. The other way is importing the listing text directly, and that means if you already have listing text that you want to import in that's actually more up to date. Maybe you've got different titles and bullets that are on the ASINs. We can do that too. That's not so common, but some teams have that case. So I'll go back to the ASINs for the first example, and I'll just walk through how both of these work so you can get your catalog imported. Just as an example, I've pulled a random listing here on Amazon. I happen to search hiking poles, and here's one of them. All we need here is the ASIN. So we'll go back to this a little later and see what we can learn when we import it. When we're importing the ASIN option here, you need to click this file template button. So we've organized the structured spreadsheet that you can use to get all your information put in the right way. You click this and it's going to take you to Google Sheets. We'll automatically make a copy of this and it's going to put you, I'll put all this stuff on the right side. It's going to open up to an instructions tab. So this first tab is just instructions for what to do if you've never been here before. The template lives in this second tab, import template. So click that and it's going to open up this spreadsheet here. This is pretty simple. I'll just zoom in so it's a bit easier to see. So the first column is all the ASINs that you want to import. So if you have 50 or 100 different ASINs, you'll just copy and paste them all here. And that's all you need to do, really. Yeah. I'll just delete that. So in this case, for the ASIN, I'm going to go grab this one. And I'll just paste that there. The second column is the product name. This is optional. You don't need to put anything here. If you want to have a shorter name than what's in the title here, like you might call this trekking poles, you can put something just like trekking poles there. It's optional. If you don't put anything here, then Percy's going to use the Amazon title as your product name, and that works perfectly well in Percy. So totally optional there if you want it. This third column is country. So we need to know which Amazon marketplace we're scraping your ASIN from. So this is the only other required field. Make sure that you put something there. The final column here is keywords. Now this is just a master keyword list. So if you want to pull in a set of keywords and attach it to this listing when you import it, maybe you've already got keywords that you like from Helium 10 or Jungle Scout or something like that, you can put those here, separated either by comma or by new lines, and Percy will attach that keyword list to this listing when we import it. This is also optional. Most of the time, I wouldn't expect you would have this, so you can just leave that blank. So really, all you need for the ASIN import is you need an ASIN, and you need a country code. The only other thing I should mention before we go forward is, let's say you have 20 ASINs or something. Make sure before you download this file that you're also copying down the country code for each row. So each row is one product, and Perci is only looking at the information in that row for that product. So it's not going to remember, oh, it was the US on the top. So just make sure that you're copying down the country code for each row that you're on. And for that matter, you could have some in US, some in Mexico. You can mix and match here. You don't need to separate these into individual batches if you don't want to. You can import as many listings as you want at one time. So this is really meant for bulk catalog work. So we've got, I'll delete the rest of these rows. We don't want to import 20 of these. We've got a row that we're importing here. The next step is I'm going to click File. I'm going to go to Download, and then I'm going to select, under Download, I'm going to select comma separated values, CSV. So we want to grab a CSV file of this. That's really important. Perci does not take Excel files or other kind like Mac numbers files or anything like that. So I've got that downloaded, and I'm going to go back to Perci, to this window here, and I'll click Choose File, and I'm going to pull that download I just pulled, and I'm going to click Upload. When you do that, you're going to see a little check mark that says, hey, we got your file, we're currently updating it, and we'll let you know when it's done. If you have, let's say 20 or 50 listings, it may take a few minutes just for us to scrape them all. I saw my phone buzz just now, so that works pretty quickly. You probably won't see it pop up automatically. When you get the confirmation, just refresh your dashboard page, and you're going to see your listing populated here on the top. So if you had 50 ASINs in your file, you'd see 50 new listings just like this appear. Before I show you the other way to import, I'll just show you what we can see here before we've optimized anything. So here's the title, here's our ASIN. The one interesting thing in the dashboard is the restricted phrases flag. So any import that we do, we automatically audit for restricted phrases, and we do some other basic checks on your listing with this optimization score. So restricted phrases are anything, any word or phrase that we know Amazon doesn't like. There's a lot of them. You probably would be surprised what some of them are. Some of them are category specific, but better safe than sorry. We'll always raise a flag if there's something in your listing that we know has caused a problem before. So it just so happens that in this listing, there's a whole bunch of words it looks like that probably shouldn't be there. Maybe the bots haven't come across this listing yet in a while, so they just haven't flagged it. So we can hover our mouse over any listing and see the restricted phrases, see what they are. And then if we open this listing up, we can see a little bit more. So I'm just going to click that listing. It's going to open this up in our listing generator, and I'll pull myself over here so you can see a bit more. So here on the right, you can see this one listing that we've just imported. Here's the title. Here's all these bullets. The first thing to notice is all this red text. So anything in red, these are those restricted phrases that Perci found. So it's showing us where those are. We definitely would want to take care of those if we were optimizing this. So this is a nice, we haven't even done any optimizing. We've already seen some issues. The other thing that is pretty common is you'll notice these bullets are really long. So this one's 440, 430 bytes. The problem with that is Amazon only indexes the first 1,000 bytes of your bullets. You can have as long as you want on these bullets. The problem is you're going to miss indexing on keywords in the bottom of your bullets because the top ones are going to take up all the indexing. So it's better to have 200 to 250 bytes in your bullets. So if we're optimizing this, we already know that there are some words we want to get out. We also know that we need to cut down the length on these bullets so that all of our keywords are indexing. So we haven't even started to optimize yet, and this is already pretty helpful. And this will happen across your whole catalog. So if you have 100 listings, you'll be able to see listing by listing just from the dashboard which ones have some issues with restricted phrases, for instance, or which ones probably have some optimizing issues that we need to take care of. So that's an import. Before I move on, I'm just going to show you the other way that we can do it, the listing text way. So if I go back up to the top and click Import Catalog, it's going to open up this same window as before. And if I go to this drop down and select listing text, import listing text directly, that's going to change the file template link that we're on. So make sure that you have the right setting here, and then you'll click File Template, and that's going to open up a different Google Sheets format for us. Just like before, I'm going to click down on the second tab, Import Template, and you'll see some different columns here. So I'll just quickly go through this. Your ASIN, obvious, that's the ASIN that you're on. Excuse me. If you don't have an ASIN, this is optional. We're not scraping anything here, so we don't need your ASIN to get the listing imported. But if you're going to optimize your whole catalog in bulk, so if you want to pull in 50 listings and then optimize all 50 listings with keyword searches and rewriting and stuff like that, the ASIN field is actually how we tag listings in Perci. So even if you don't want to scrape anything, I still recommend putting either your ASIN here or even just a SKU number, something that Perci can use to remember which listing is which when we're going back and updating this later. So it's optional, but I highly recommend it. The next column is the brand. So what brand is this listing for? That's optional. The product name is also optional. Just like before, if you don't put anything here, we're going to pull the title and use that as your product name. That works perfectly fine. Next is the country. We want to make sure that we're tagging this to the right marketplace. This is the only required thing here. So then the text fields are next. So here is the column for all your titles, your bullet ones, bullet twos, 3, 4s, and so on. The idea here is that, you might have all this text just ready to go. Typically, the use case here is you might already have an ASIN going, but maybe the text has been updated since then. Maybe there's some more recent bullet copy or title copy than this, and you don't want to start working with old text. So that's really what this is for. So if you have new text organized in a spreadsheet like this, and you want to get that catalog text in when you import your listing, that's really what this is for. So you would copy and paste all of your titles and bullets here, as well as your description. That's optional, but if you have it, that's great. And then finally, there's a few keywords columns here on the back side. So backend search terms is the search terms field in Amazon. So if you have backend search terms that you want to import along with your listing text, that's great. You can do that here. The front end keywords, I'll just explain the difference. Sometimes this seems a bit confusing. The front end keywords are the title, bullets, description keywords. This is sort of your master keyword list that you're going to be optimizing into your listing text. The back end search terms are going to be the one that sit on their own. They're single unique words counted in bytes. So the front end keywords are where your keyword phrases go that are going to be into your title, bullets, stuff like that. These are both optional. If you're optimizing, you probably don't have any of this yet. So feel free to leave it blank, and I'll show you how we can get this stuff sorted out for you in the next few steps. Just like before, once you've got all this organized, you would go to File, you go to Download, and then you download as a CSV. And just like before, you would come back here, upload that file, and click, and then it, just like in the ASIN version, you're going to see it populate here. So that's how to import your listings into Perci. Once you've got all your catalog listings imported, now it's time for us to do some keyword research and either optimize those keywords and keep the listing text the same, or rewrite the listing because we need to get new text in there. So Perci can help with either of those options, and I'll show you how to do that in the next few videos. I'll probably make one video for each of those use cases. But the first step for any of that is getting your catalog imported into Percy. So now we've got that done. And I'll see you in the next video when we'll talk about finishing your optimization job. So thanks a lot and chat soon.